Olúwa ẹ tóbi, ẹ tóbi o, ẹ má tóbi. Jésù mi ẹ tóbi, ẹ tóbi o, ẹ má tóbi. Kò sẹ́ni tá lè fi ṣàkàwé rẹ̀ o, ẹ tóbi Olúwa. Great are you, Lord, the universe declares your majesty. Who can compare? I've searched and searched, 'cause I need to be. Demons tremble at the mention of your name. Mountains crumble at the sound of your voice. Olúwa ẹ tóbi, ẹ tóbi o, ẹ má tóbi. Olúwa. Hi guys, how you doing again? It's me, your favorite host. So this day I am here with two sides of a story. Now this is me with two podcasts for today. And the first one, I would be handling some questions that has been thrown to me um, while reading this book, while doing this document from Femi Otedola, the latest release, the latest must have, um, Making It Big by Femi Otedola. And it's a book worth reading, I must say. So I'll tackle the questions the best possible way I know I can. The first question says, can someone have wisdom and not use it wisely? This is a very tricky one, but then it has an answer. Yes, someone can have wisdom and not use it wisely in different ways, in different aspects, in in different forms. I would give a typical example with myself because I think the best example to relate with it's one you give with yourself, not another person's story. Let it be your story. Looking behind me, you can see different books from different authors behind me. Now, all this are words of wisdom in written form by different people, different writers, different as in people that has read and then they were able to put what they know into writing so that they would not just stay with what they know, so that they can be able to share what they know with the masses. Now, imagine me having all these books, all these wonderful documents, all these wonderful materials, and then I'm not able to flip the pages. I'm not able to read them. This is me having wisdom at my beck and call, but then I can't relate with it. I can't use them. I don't know what's the content. This is me having Femi Otedola's book, Making It Big, right in front of me, and then day to day I pass by it, I look at it, and I'm like, wow, this book is gonna make sense. And then I come online to tell you, have you read that book? I will ginger you. Have you read that book? That book is making sense, but I don't know what the first letter or what one chapter in it is saying. So this means you having wisdom at your beck and call, wisdom sitting with you, wisdom sleeping with you, wisdom dining with you. But then, are you using it wisely? It is wise for you to go out to purchase them. Me, I love buying books. As a member of the Winners Chapel, we have it's our custom to have books of the month, and where you are encouraged and advised to read the books of the month according to the theme of the month. And then after getting the books, you just bring them and keep them. It is wisdom for you to know that, yes, these books are going to be good for you to purchase them. Then, when you've gotten that wisdom to purchase them, you have wisdom at home, do you now use them? How do you use them wisely? Is to flip the pages, read them, understand them, digest them, discover things from within, things that another wise man know and is willing and able to share with you. So yes, it is possible to have wisdom and not be able to use it wisely. I hope I've been able to answer this particular question. Now, the second question says, we are all victims of what we criticize. Is it true or false? Oh, yes, a big true. That is just the truth written as plain and as clear as possible. We are all victims of what we criticize. You would hear when people say, do unto others what you want others to do to you, but then you still find out that you find yourself doing those things you think that are normal for another person, but not normal enough for you, not good enough for you. Now let me give another example with self again. I My older brother, I I used to say to my older siblings that my older sister, that my brother is someone that when he hears something about you, he does not call you to ask you, Ify, this is what I heard. Ify, did this thing happen like this? Rather, it's an immediate judgment for you. He believes whatever he heard is the truth, not minding who he heard it from. So, at a particular point in time, I realized that it's going to be hard trying to prove myself like it is not true or it is true. I just say, well, anyhow you want to believe it. And I kept quiet. And then at a point in time, I also found myself in the same shoes of, most times when someone tells me something about someone that this person said, I find myself at a particular point in time believing that my brother, okay, let's say my brother, for example, too, did this thing exactly the way the person narrated it to me. But then, this is me criticizing my brother for doing something that I myself, I am also guilty of. Do you understand why it says we are all victims of what we criticize? Now, I wouldn't want you to judge me without hearing from me, but this is me also at a particular point in time judging you too, also without hearing you, or bringing assumptions into something that, okay, probably you assume something all of a sudden. Okay, probably you and your I and my partner gets a misunderstanding, and then has a friction at a particular point in time, and then he calls at that particular point in time. Probably I was not with my phone at that point in time to pick up the call, and then the next thing he would send a message, or whenever I pick up, he would say something like, I know you don't want to take the calls because I told you this and that. That's why you decided to ignore my call. You can ignore it all you want. And I'm like, I'll ask him, is this a fact or are you assuming? And then when same thing happens with him, I would also tell him the same thing. And then he will ask me, is this a fact or are you assuming? So he said assumption kills the cat. So this is me here trying to say we are all victims of what we criticize, what we don't want others to do to us. We find ourselves knowingly or unknowingly doing that thing. So in essence, it is, we have to be conscious at all points in time not to hurt people the way we wouldn't want them to hurt us. So yes, we are all victims of what we criticize. That is a very big truth. Then the third question, which is the last question for now, says, how do you dispel an already embodied principle and plant one that would tilt one towards the fulfillment of their purpose as a counter thought. Let me take this question again. It says, how do you dispel an already embodied principle and plant one that would tilt one towards the fulfillment of their purpose as a counter principle? Now, an embodied principle. An embodied principle, it's like something you put on. It's like something you put on. Now, when you give birth to a child, the child comes empty, no clothes. The only thing the child has within him or her is cry. That's even cry. You have to beat them. The pain has to be inflicted on them, first of all, for the cry to come forth. Now, they come empty, they come naked, nothing. Then it takes you to start filling in some things. That's why most times you find out the children, what they hear you say, what you do, gradually that is how they go to do it. How will a child know that this is a socket if not that they've seen you go there to put it on or switch it off? How will a child know? Most times you find couples when the child is growing and the first child, the first word the child says, dada, daddy. It's because they've heard you several times say daddy or mommy or uncle or auntie. Then when they are ready to speak, you find out that those things they've constantly heard you say, that is what they bring out. So you are just like a role model to them. So this is what you've clothed them with. So now, along the line, you either clothe them positively or negatively. Now, the question says, how do you dispel an already embodied principle? Let's say they've embodied a negative thing, or there is an information that is not true and that they have come to believe it, they have come to soak themselves in it, they have come to, believe it as the truth, believe it as reality. And then along the line, they meet someone, or I come in contact with someone that is now telling me that these things, they are not the truth, they are not how it is, that these things are subjective principles. When we have the objective principle, the objective principle is the universal truth, while the subjective principle is what I make myself believe as the truth, but not the truth. Do you understand? So now I have to get this objective truth and use it, fill myself with the objective truth. How do I fill myself with the objective truth? I go back to the first answer I gave. I have books, wisdom packages that I can take. I have books, wisdom packages that I can take and fill myself. Counter. How do you counter something? You use this one to counter this one. This is already living in me. And then this is already living in me, the subjective principle. And then there is the objective principle. I bring this one and then I start filling this one on top of what is already existent in me, what is already within me. I feel myself. I keep feeling myself. I keep looking for things that will make me see clearer, that will make me understand better for myself, not what someone has to tell me about this. So I have to keep, searching for the real truth, counter truth, something to counter the things I already know, something to counter what that child already believed that is not the truth. So I just think that is it. So you just have to go read, get materials that would help you counter those things you've embodied. It could be materials through books, it could be materials through podcasts. And then you will find yourself, like, there are times when messages and podcasts are being sent to me, the ones from Joda B. Peterson and Myron Golden, Miles Monroe, and you just find out that there are things that you just have to take in to bring those objective principles alive within you. and to remove those things you think are the reality, or those things that you think you know. So my answer to this is, like I already said, you have to find counter materials, that will speak about those things you are interested in getting answers to. So with this, I think I have been able to um share my thoughts about these three questions. Thank you guys. Bye.